Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab it and taste it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Takes a thing to see. Just like the
Ladies and gents, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you here to a very special edition Monday stream, as we are streaming live on 4 different platforms across 4 different accounts with plenty of news to talk about. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. I understand that Monday is probably everyone's least favorite day of the week, but trust me, DJ Storms is here to make your Mondays a hell of a lot better. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn X, formerly known as Twitter handle, known to mankind. And this is the official rewind for AEW All In 2024, which of course streamed live on Bleacher Report and all pay-per-view cable providers yesterday afternoon, with the 0 hour starting at 12 noon. Their second show in a row from All In Wembley Stadium in London, England. And we certainly had a newsworthy show to talk about. We are not going to waste too much time. We're going to dive right into the festivities here, and I certainly got a lot to talk about, including a couple of matches that were placed in the wrong spots, couple wrong outcomes, but overall, the show was better than last year. Last year's was more about the spectacle. Last year's was more about just making a statement, hey, we can sell out 81,000 tickets and we can put on whatever we want. This year was much different. This year was about the match of the year candidates. This year was about creating moments. This year was about making All In the finality. Last year's All In was more of a continuation from whatever storylines were going on last summer. This year was more of the finality of AEW, and All In should indeed be looked upon as AEW's version of WrestleMania. Excellent show from start to finish, minus a few things here and there, but we'll talk about that. Before we get into the specifics about what went down yesterday afternoon, obviously, please make sure that you follow me on both X and Instagram at HistoryMaker DJS. One more time, that is at HistoryMaker DJS, both on X and Instagram. The links are in the description of this very stream. Please go and check those out right now. In addition to that, please make sure that you add me on my personal Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. You can like the official DJ Storms business page, which we are live on right now, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook, that is. All the links are in the description, as well as the link to my Venmo and my Cash App. Please, if you want to support, Venmo me, Cash App me. Links are down below. And of course, get your DJ Storms merch, whether it be t-shirts, whether it be wristbands, or the official DJ Storms Switchblade comb, because it is so good. It is scrumptious. It is delicious. And just like me, you could be the tastiest snack on the planet, and everyone's going to want a piece of you, just like they want a piece of the Storms Meister. Look at how fucking awesome this haircut is right now. I'm telling you, I am just too damn good. I'm telling you, it's too bad I'm too good. On top of that, please make sure if you're watching, got to hit the like button no matter where you're watching it from, whether you're watching it on YouTube, whether you're watching it on X, whether you're watching it on Facebook, or whether you're watching it on Rumble. We're currently live on Rumble right now. We're looking to build a nice, solid fan base over on Rumble. And of course, please make sure you share the stream out on all platforms, social media. Get as many people in here as possible because it is a known fact that I'm not only going to make your Mondays better, but I'll make your whole entire lives better. I didn't make the rules. Yes, I did. In addition to that, I would also like to shout out some sponsorships. Here's a word from your boy on the hottest laundromat here in the state of New Jersey, specifically Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Let me tell you about my laundry room. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys require some professional laundry services, you guys should come on down to my laundry room. And I'm here to tell you why. First of all, they got a great reputation of over 30 years here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, which gives them first-class name brand recognition. Secondly, they got high-quality VIP wash and fold service, which entails that you get top-notch cleaning at a very reasonable price. And of course, you get the assurance that your order will be ready when promised. And finally, and most importantly, you get the customer satisfaction knowing that my laundry room is a clean and comfortable environment, has great staff, and above all else, is a place where the customer always comes first. So come on down, see Kelly, Danielle, Chris, and all the great team members over here. My laundry room, where your dirty laundry is their business. We would like to send out a special thank you to Danielle and Kelly and Chris and all the team members of My Laundry Room for being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand and, of course, an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough. Battle in the Borough is, of course, Saturday, October 19th, 2024 in the Elmwood Park Rec Center. You can get your tickets right now. You can either Venmo me or Cash App me down below. And of course, you can also Venmo and Cash App me for any pieces of DJ Storms merch. Another sponsor I would like to shout out, a new sponsor, is the Ruggles Shop on Route 46 in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Here's a word from, you guessed it, DJ Shizzle Dizzle on why you should check out the Ruggles Shop. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I'm coming here with one of the best kept secrets in Bergen County, the Ruggles Shop. For the last 10 months, this place has been serving up some quality baked goods, including chocolate chip cookies, pecan sandies, and of course, homemade ruggles. And if you come on in right now, my main man Kevin over here, he will make you a quality smoothie that is not only healthy, but it is also delicious. Take my word for it, people. The Ruggles Shop, you are going to want to check this place out. You should indeed check out the Ruggles Shop. I actually had a smoothie over there. It's pretty damn good. Pretty damn good if I do say so myself. Raging Girl Gamer, how are you today? I hope that you were having a pretty decent Monday. I heard that you were almost 1 month sober. So congratulations to you, Miss Raging Girl Gamer. I hope you and your husband are doing okay. And I actually recently just received some breaking news. Sid Vicious recently passed away. I was actually looking on social media during the promotional video for the laundry room or my laundry room, and Sid Vicious has indeed passed away. I do not know how old he was. I'm trying to figure that out right now. Yeah, Sid Vicious's son just confirmed that he is indeed passed away after battling cancer for several years. So my thoughts and prayers and my heart goes out to all the family, the friends, the associates, the acquaintances of Sid Vicious. May his soul rest in peace. Another sponsor that I would like to shout out. I gotta get all the sponsorship advertisements out there because Battle in the Borough, it's making the rounds around Elmwood Park. And of course, the DJ Storms brand is becoming hotter than ever. Gotta shout out Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes. If you guys are looking for some great interior landscapes, Macbeth is the place for you. Check out this word from DJ Shizzle Dizzle on why you should go to Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for all of your interior landscaping needs. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to share a little bit of information with you. As many people know, Plants are extremely critical to any interior design. Matter of fact, research indicates that good interior landscaping is not only desirable, but it is a must-do green initiative to keep customers both happy and healthy. Now, at Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, they believe that plants, they do more than just occupy a corner of a lobby. That is why they offer a full line of interior landscapes for both corporate and residential settings, from office plantscaping, living walls, moss walls, and even plant and orchid arrangement. Macbeth Farm is your go-to resource for all of your professional horticulture needs. Contact Macbeth at 201-387-7997, or you can see all of their creations online at macbethfarm.com. That is MacBethFarm.com. Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes, a family-owned business providing distinctive interior plantscaping for businesses across New Jersey and the Philadelphia area. Thank you very much to Macbeth Farm Interiorscapes for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And the final sponsorship that I will shout out for now, I would like to shout out Then AI. Do you guys know someone who is getting forgetful? Well, I got a cool way to help. Then is a new AI companion app and memory aid that remembers important details about your life. Then can remember names, dates, medical information, account numbers, and lots of other stuff too. It can also read documents, play trivia, or just chat with you like an old friend. And it's so simple that anyone can use it. Are you guys ready for the best part? Then is running a very special deal. It is 40% off all of our listeners, just $2.99 a month. For more information, please visit mythenai.com and use the code DJ Storms. That is MYVENAI.com, code DJ Storms. And of course, we got the matches confirmed for Battle in the Borough. The ladies are going to be headed to Elmwood Park. It is the Battle of the Tiffs, if you will. It is Tiffany Grady versus Tiffany Avatar. These two ladies are no stranger to one another. They are currently 1-1 right now. And I spoke to Ashley Stevie from Kaiju Pro Wrestling. Tiffany Avatar will indeed be bringing the Kaiju Pro Wrestling Phoenix Division Championship to Battle in the Borough, and she will defend it against Tiffany Avatar. So if you guys are looking for some quality women's wrestling, I am telling you, Battle in the Borough will be the place for you. In addition to that, I would also like to mention that we got ourselves a big-time match between two individuals that have fought each other multiple times. It is Alex Ryman and Bulldog Pittman. One half of the Silk City Kings is Bulldog Pittman. Can Bulldog Pittman find that dog in him? Or will the Revolver, I don't know why I said the Reviver, I swear to God. The Revolver, is he going to make good on his name and successfully call his shot? You'll just have to wait to find out. But I also got major news regarding another match, and that is Mateo Marcelos versus El Oso Blanco. These two individuals, two friends, two very proud fathers. It was actually Mateo that Blanco told me he would like to face, so I booked this match. But there is a very, very, very special stipulation going down at a Pro Wrestling Magic event in Ridgefield Park, New Jersey, on Saturday, September 28th, 2024. And that is El Oso Blanco. He's going to be fighting the Revolver, Alex Ryman. Alex Ryman is defending the Pro Wrestling Magic World Championship against the 7-foot-tall Meadowlands Monster. And the best part, whoever wins will advance to Battle in the Borough on October 19th to defend the championship against their respective opponents. So if Ryman wins, he defends against Pittman. But if Blanco wins, he defends against Mateo Marcelos. You guys are going to want to get your tickets for Battle in the Borough right now. you're going to want to DM me, serious inquiries only, please, or you can call 201-507-2577. A couple more match announcements before we move on here. How you doing, Hula Grim? Thank you very much for stopping on by. We're going to go over All In just a little bit. Got to get these promotional and marketing advertisements out there because I'm telling you, Battle in the Borough is going to be a fucking historic event, and it's going to be streaming live across the IWC. So set your calendar dates and set your notifications for that. We got ourselves a great showcase of tag team wrestling going down at Battle in the Borough. It is the now former 3-time and record-setting ISPW World Tag Team Champions, the Now. They are facing off against 2-time Outlaw Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, The Audacity. The Audacity won the last match back in October of 2023, and that was because Hale had to go at it alone. Vic was injured, so Hale defended the Outlaw Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships in a handicap match. And the Audacity, they ended up walking out as tag team champions. Now, the Now is looking for revenge. Who is the best tag team up and down the East Coast? Well, you guys are going to have to wait and see. That goes down on October 19th as well. Hula Grim, let me tell you something. If you can't remember shit, you should download VenAI. Download VenAI. I literally just did a whole promotional ad for VenAI. I'm telling you, $2.99 a month. Use code DJ Storms. You'll be able to remember a lot of shit through VenAI. 2 more match announcements that I would like to get through as far as Battle in the Borough goes. This one was recently made official last week. It is Anthony Gangone taking on the 21-year-old prodigy Marcus Mathers. And I spoke to Billy Fetsky of Titan Championship Wrestling, and he has agreed to allow Anthony Gangone to bring the TCW MoBFI TV American Championship to Elmwood Park. This match will indeed be for the MoBFI TV American Championship. And we're going to see if Marcus Mathers can continue his meteoric rise to the top. He recently just did a GCW tour over in Japan. So shout out to Marcus Mathers for a great showcase over in the GCW tour in Japan. We're going to see if Dr. Sleep is going to be able to put him down for good. And finally, the main event. You guys already know what's going down in the main event. Crowbar. Crowbar is indeed in the main event. The Timeless Crowbar will be taking on NWA's technical powerhouse, Spencer Slade. And Savage has agreed to put his own brand's championship on the line in this match. The Savage Heavyweight title will main event Battle in the Borough when Crowbar and Spencer Slade fight one-on-one. Get your tickets now, $25. You can DM me or call 201-507-2577. It is going down in the borough of Elmwood Park on Saturday, October 19th. And yes, Hula Grim, VenAI. Go download it. It's an app. It's a memory aid app. I'm telling you, $2.99 a month. Use code DJ Storms. It'll be great. It'll be great. Anyway. We got some shit to go over. Let's talk about AEW All In 2024. A couple wrong outcomes here and there. Couple of matches that were placed in the wrong spots. But in the end, like I said in the beginning, it was indeed better than last year's show. Last year's show was more about the spectacle and more about making a statement. Hey, we can sell 81,000 tickets for All In, and we can put on whatever we want, and the people are going to come and watch. That was the motto last year. This year was more about making All In AEW's version of WrestleMania and making All In a true spectacle. Not even just a spectacle of ambiance, but you get match of the year candidates, you get big moments, you get a lot, and I mean a lot of great stories told, and in the end, it was indeed probably AEW's best show of the year so far. It may be tough to call. Because Revolution and Dynasty, they're right there, but I definitely put All In the top 3 AEW shows of the year so far. Let's go over the pre-show. The pre-show is more of the same from AEW, just a charity case. And this is one thing that I really fucking hate. I have always been of the mindset, and I say this all the time, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter what kind of wrestling company you're running. Make everything feel important. From the pre-show all the way to the main event. From the top stars all the way to the jobbers. Make everything feel important. Give meaning to everything, and that includes the pre-show. I always will reference AEW Dynasty on April 21st, when we had Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe. They main evented the show, but you took a look at that pre-show. That pre-show was the best pre-show that AEW has done in a long, long time. That pre-show, that 0 hour, meant something. That was a great 0 hour back in April. And to look at that 0 hour versus this 0 hour, I'm sitting here going, well, what the fuck happened? I will never, ever stray away from the mindset of make everything feel important. The pre-show should mean something. It didn't. If anything, the pre-show had 2 moments, and none of them were match-related. Tommy Billington, Kyle Fletcher, Top Flight, Action Andretti, Kip Sabian, Leo Rush, and Rocky Romero. They took on Anthony Ogogo, Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, Alex Reynolds, John Silver, and Private Party. Pretty typical multi-man match. Nothing special. Nothing more than a means to get everyone on the show and the babyfaces win. That was pretty much that. One of the biggest things that happened on the pre-show was the announcement of AEW's Australian tour. They are going to Suncorp Stadium on February 15th, 2025 for AEW Grand Slam. And I'm telling you this right now, I know for a fact that someone in AEW is listening to me. Literally 24 hours before All In, I went live with the Lightning Flash update, and I said that Grand Slam needs to be a pay-per-view. Now, it was good for the first year in Arthur Ashe Stadium. Hell, I would even say it was good for the second year. It was just fine. It was just fine. But it's clear as day that Grand Slam has lost its luster because now you have Wembley Stadium. They did that 2 years in a row. They sold out 81,000 tickets the first year. They sold 54,000 tickets the second year. Now they're going to Australia. They're probably going to be going to the O2 Arena in London. They are going to Globe Life Field for All In Texas. Grand Slam as a weekly TV show, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It doesn't feel special. It really doesn't. So what's going to happen now? Grand Slam needs to be a pay-per-view. If anything, I would move All Out to January, and I would make AEW Grand Slam in Arthur Ashe Stadium. That should be the pay-per-view for the month of September. If not, AEW should absolutely bring a Revolution or a Dynasty or a Full Gear or a World's End. They should bring one of those shows to Arthur Ashe Stadium. Hell, hold All In Arthur Ashe Stadium. I definitely wouldn't mind them doing an All In Arthur Ashe Stadium. Wouldn't mind that whatsoever. Do a small stage, sell out 21,000 people, just like you did in 2021. I would not mind that at all. But Grand Slam now is a pay-per-view. That should be a consistent thing going forward. AEW Grand Slam is going to be in Suncorp Stadium in Australia, and I believe it's a capacity of 52,000, if I'm not mistaken, which is a good capacity for them. That's a very good capacity. I'm looking forward to that. The international shows are always a lot more fun than the American shows. I love the USA, but when it comes to the crowd reaction, the international shows always put the USA shows to shame. Tomohiro Ishii and Willow Nightingale. They took on Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander. As expected, typical mixed tag team match. Nothing of substance whatsoever. This was a means of getting Tomohiro Ishii on the show, a means of getting Willow on the show, and a means of getting Statlander on the show. Willow and Ishii ended up getting the win, and now they get to choose the stipulation for Statlander and Willow's match for the CMLL Women's World Championship at All Out. Now, I'm looking forward to the match at All Out, that's for sure. But if anything, when we get the match at All Out, it's going to feel ass backwards, if we're going to be quite honest. It is really going to feel ass backwards, because when you see that match and you're going to see how good it is, a lot of people are going to ask, well, why wasn't that on All In? I'm telling you, some of these wrestling companies, especially WWE and AEW, WWE just did shit ass backwards at SummerSlam. They did Solo versus Cody and not Roman versus Solo at SummerSlam. They did that shit ass backwards. Now we're doing Solo and Roman going into the fall of this year. AEW, they did a mixed tag team match at All In, when in reality they should have done the match with Willow and Statlander at All In. They did it ass backwards. Willow and Ishii win. They announced their return to London is going to be on Sunday, August 24th, 2025. AEW and New Japan present Forbidden Door. Where is Forbidden Door going to be held? We don't know. We do not know where Forbidden Door is going to be held. If anything, I would go for the O2 Arena. The O2 Arena is a pretty damn good arena, and I absolutely believe they could pack that place, especially considering that it's much smaller than Wembley Stadium. And on top of that, you get people from New Japan, you get people from the UK scene as well. It could definitely be a true celebration of professional wrestling in the UK. O2 Arena would absolutely be a great stop for Forbidden Door. And then the main event of the pre-show, the Cage of Agony and the Undisputed Kingdom. They took on Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Katsuyori Shibata, and the Von Erichs. Another charity case match, extremely meaningless, and the babyfaces win. The biggest highlight of the pre-show was when Saraya came out and she demanded respect. She wanted an all-in moment. All of a sudden, Jamie Hayter came out. She looked absolutely fucking gorgeous, both from a physical standpoint, and she looks like she is mentally ready to get back into the fold. She looks like she has been starving, and I mean starving, to get back into the fold, and she looks ready to kick some ass. And that I am absolutely looking forward to. Now, her coming back was great. Her coming back was great. However, I'm going to have to mention this. They put Jamie Hayter's return in the wrong spot. I'm sorry if it may get under some people's skin, but Jamie Hayter shouldn't have returned here. Jamie Hayter returned on the pre-show, and even though her going after Saraya kind of makes sense because Saraya was one of the women that took the championship from her back at Double or Nothing last year, this was a missed opportunity. And it doesn't help that Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker was put in the wrong spot on the show. Moné and Baker should have kicked off the show. There was no way that they were going to follow MJF and Will Ospreay. The TBS title match should have kicked off the show. You could have given us the exact same match. The crowd would have been a lot better for the match. And you could have delivered a beatdown to Britt Baker at the hands of Mercedes and Camille. And then that could have been the means of Jamie Hayter returning, setting up a tag team match at All Out. Now, they could still set up the tag team match at All Out, but it would have been a lot more effective and a lot more impactful if Hayter returned to help Britt Baker and save her from a beatdown from Moné and Camille. The main show, instead of the TBS title match, it started off with the London Ladders match. It was the House of Black, the Bang Bang Gang, Pac, and the BCC, this being Claudio and Yuta, versus the Patriarchy. London Ladders match for the AEW World Trios Championships. Now this match was a lot better than the Trios match last year. Not to say that last year's Trios match was bad, but this one was a lot better overall. Now, I will give credit to all 12 men here. This could have been a complete clusterfuck. This could have been a complete clusterfuck. This could have been an absolute disaster of epic proportions. But I do have to give props to all 12 men in that match, and whoever produced that match definitely deserves a raise because this match was very organized. It was very smooth. Everyone got their shit in. It didn't feel disorganized. It didn't feel like a mumble-jumbled mess. Everything was very well orchestrated. Everything was very well orchestrated, and everything just came off well. And let me tell you something. In a match like that, with 12 guys like that, some of them were pretty big guys as well. I mean, you had fucking Brody King in there. You had Luchasaurus in there. Christian Cage, he's no small individual. With all those guys involved in the match, Claudio's in there, all these guys involved in the match, it could have been a complete and utter catastrophe. They made do with what they had, and they delivered a very smooth, very well orchestrated and organized ladder match. And that definitely deserves to be praised. This was a great opening match. So Christian got out of Dodge immediately. It was just all out bedlam. We had everyone scrambling for ladders and the titles. So Claudio was hit with a cannonball by Juice Robinson off the apron. We had a moonsault by Black, a tope con hero by Matthews, suicide dive by Yuta, sky twister press by Pac. Everyone was just diving on everyone. So typical spots in a ladder match like this. The Guns paid tribute to the Dudley Boys with the "What's up?" headbutt. So that was pretty fun to watch right there. They did the whole get the table spot with Juice. We had a tope suicida by Brody King. Brody King's a fucking monster. Cage came running down to the ring like Charles Robinson at WrestleMania 24. Cage came running down to the ring. Cage was swarmed by the rest of the pack. So he got his comeuppance. Mother Wayne, she went for the titles, but the Guns stopped her. Killswitch came in, delivered a double choke slam to the Guns. He just started choke slamming everyone. I think he delivered about 7 or 8 choke slams in that match. We had a choke slam to Black on the ladder. We had a choke slam to Buddy Matthews. Nick Wayne, that is, hit Wayne's World through a table on Brody. Christian with a kill switch, but he took too long. And we had a triple team by the House of Black on Yuta. 310 to Yuma on King. Claudio with an uppercut. Big swing on Juice Robinson. I think he delivered about 17 revolutions. We then had some chairs being introduced. We had 2 tables set up in the ring. Claudio and Brody had sleeper holds locked in on them. The Guns locked in sleeper holds on Brody and Claudio as they were climbing the ladder, and they fell back through 2 tables. Nice spot right there. Juice climbed the ladder. Black then used the ladder against Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne with a tope suicida into a Canadian destroyer on Malachi Black through the table on the floor, which looked awesome. Juice then went up the ladder. He climbed for it, but Christian tipped over the ladder and Juice got crotched on the top rope. So it looks like he won't be too rock hard after that one. We had a kill switch on the chair to Pac. Mother Wayne sprayed mace in the eyes of Yuta. We had a concerto with the ladder. Mother Wayne then accidentally got sprayed. We had a big boot. Juice was then sent through the table. Christian went up. Buddy went up. Buddy took out Killswitch. And Christian Cage with a spear off the ladder to Buddy through a table in the corner. Killswitch, he helped Christian climb the ladder, but Pac was right there. Christian was knocked down, and Pac unhooked the championships, and he won the trios titles for himself, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta. Great match, but a rather shocking outcome. Now, I'm happy, and I'm sure a lot of people are happy that Pac got his Wembley moment, and that's a great thing to see because last year he got injured. He wasn't even on the show, and that right there was a huge letdown. Pac would have absolutely benefited from being on the show last year. He wasn't on the show last year. This year, he was on the show, and now he gets his Wembley moment. Now, here's the only question that I have here. Why exactly did Pac, Claudio, and Yuta win? Realistically, if you want to think about it, the outcome didn't even make sense. The Patriarchy just won the championships. Their reign meant nothing. This was their first title defense, and they lost. The reign was meaningless. Why exactly did Pac, Claudio, and Yuta win? I don't know about you guys, but I'm sensing a little bit of pettiness on the part of Tony Khan. I don't want to pretend like I know what's going on backstage. I don't want to pretend like I know what's going on in the mind of Tony Khan. I don't know what's going on in the mind of any of these promoters. I don't know what's going on in the mind of any of these wrestlers. I don't. I'm just a spectator. But if you guys remember, Wrestle Purists did report that the Lucha Bros and Pac were originally slated to be fighting for the Trios Championships at All In this year. But the Lucha Bros reportedly want out. The Lucha Bros are reportedly leaving AEW at this very moment. I don't know about you guys, but was this a petty move on Tony Khan's part? I don't want to make assumptions here, but Pac, Claudio, and Yuta winning the championships didn't make any sense. The Patriarchy just won, but Wrestle Purists did report that Death Triangle were originally slated to be number one contenders for the trios titles, but the Lucha Bros are apparently leaving for WWE. Was this Tony Khan giving the Lucha Bros a fuck you? He inserted Claudio and Yuta in there, and they're great. I'm glad that Claudio's champion. Claudio should absolutely be a champion. Yuta's great at what he does, but did Tony Khan use Claudio and Yuta as a means of flipping off the Lucha Bros and giving Pac and the BCC the World Trios Championships because the Lucha Bros wanted out of AEW? Now, granted, Tony Khan has never been petty before, but it certainly seemed like a petty move on Tony Khan's part to give Pac and the BCC the titles. Either way, great match. Pac is a champion again. Claudio's a champion. Yuta's a champion. Three guys who absolutely deserve championships. And now they're champions. And Claudio, he could very well be fighting Okada for the Continental Crown. And I know for a fact that Claudio is going to make the most of that one. Not sure what's going to happen with Pac. Obviously, we know that Pac now has Ospreay at All Out, and that's going to be a fucking classic. Holy shit, that's going to be a classic. We're going to have to wait and see. But Pac and the BCC are officially the AEW World Trios Champions. Mariah May and Toni Storm, the AEW Women's World Championship match. This was excellent. Excellent stuff. Nothing match of the year worthy. It only went about 16 minutes, but either way, within 16 minutes, they did a lot, and they gave you plenty of good material. I was very apprehensive. I was. And I am not ashamed to admit it. I was very doubtful. I was apprehensive. I wasn't sold on Mariah May being the woman to take the championship from Toni Storm. I wasn't. I didn't think she was ready for that spot. But based on everything that happened, I can't sit here and say the same thing that I was saying months ago. I will admit, I was wrong. I was wrong about Mariah May. The woman's a star. I can't discredit her. She delivered a world championship caliber match. She didn't botch. She didn't look nervous. She embraced everything about what she did at All In. She embraced everything about the glamour persona, and everything worked out beautifully. And Toni Storm, I am not going to debate anyone on this. Toni Storm is the best AEW Women's World Champion that we've ever had. It started off rough. But Toni Storm got everything right. Toni Storm got everything right, and after Revolution, she had everything down to a T. She had the character work down. She had the in-ring action down. The opponents that they had lined up for her were absolutely beautiful. Everything worked out perfectly with Toni Storm's World Championship reign. And when Toni Storm looks back on her career, she's going to look back on the AEW Women's World title reign that she had. She's going to be fucking proud of what she did here. She's going to be absolutely proud of what she did. Awesome, awesome, awesome reign by Toni Storm. And it ended on a grand stage with a great match, and the right person defeated her. So Toni came out with Luther to a big pop. They were actually booing Mariah May in her own home country. They were booing Mariah May in her own home country. Who would have thought? So Mariah May, she took over rather quickly. And she delivered a power bomb on the floor to Toni Storm. There's really no way to take that move and make it look safe. I'm just letting everyone know. No way to take that move and make it look safe. So May, with a spinning side slam and a head scissor takedown. We had Toni Storm delivering a Luthez press and a side suplex. We had a flying knee off the apron. Mariah then kissed Nigel McGuinness. She did this all in one motion. She kissed Nigel McGuinness, delivered a shotgun dropkick to Luther, and then slapped her own mother. I mean, I guess she really wanted to go full-blown heel. She slapped her own mother. I laughed my ass off at that. Slapped my own mother. So, after she slapped her own mother, Toni Storm went over to Mariah's mother and embraced her. To a big pop, by the way. Mariah May was busted open. Toni Storm with some jabs and a choke bomb for a 2. Mariah May with 3 hip attacks. She went for a 4th one. Toni Storm came in with a big lariat. Lariat, German suplex, hip attack, Storm 0. 1, 2, Mariah May kicked out. May then flipped off Toni Storm. Both women traded strikes. Mariah May hit a low blow on Storm. Storm hit a low blow on Mariah. And then both women with a double headbutt. Both women are down. Crowd chanting, "This is awesome. This is awesome." We had Mariah May hitting the Mayday. 1, 2, Toni Storm kicked out. Luther flipped off Mariah. Toni Storm then caught the shoe, and Toni Storm did not do it. Toni Storm couldn't bring herself to hit Mariah with the shoe. This led Mariah to take over. She hit 2 knees right to the head, and then a Storm 0, and Mariah May beats Toni Storm with her own move, the Storm 0, 1, 2, 3, and Mariah May is the new AEW Women's World Champion. Mariah May, easily the best star in the women's division that AEW has created since Britt Baker. I cannot remember this much of an organic rise, and I mean a genuinely organic rise in the AEW women's division to superstardom. Willow Nightingale's up there. I don't want to take away Willow. I don't want to take away Chris Statlander either. But from an overall perspective, they did everything right with Mariah May. Everything that happened with Mariah May was absolutely fucking perfect. They had everything down to a T, and now we can collectively say that a star was born. Mariah May is indeed the new AEW Women's World Champion. I cannot wait to see what she does. Mariah May is quickly. I really don't want to disrespect Athena here because Athena's always been my number one. But Mariah May is slowly becoming the number one women's wrestler on the planet right now. Mariah May is slowly becoming number one in the women's division across all of the world. She is doing fantastic shit. And she's not only a pretty face, she wrestles. She legitimately wrestles. I would not want to be hit with one of her drop kicks. Great match, right winner, and a star is indeed made. AEW needed to create a new star at All In, and they did just that with Mariah. Chris Jericho. I am the learning tree. Hi, guys. Thanks, guys. If you guys are happy about me talking about the learning tree, give me a hashtag hi guys in the chat right now. Give me hashtag hi guys. Chris Jericho and Hook for the FTW Championship. Fozzy, they played Jericho's theme song to the ring. By the way, Rich Ward is a fantastic guitarist. I don't know about you guys, but I do appreciate Fozzy. They're not my favorite band. They're not, but they're actually a lot better live than I could have ever anticipated. I don't mind Fozzy. So the entrance was cool. He came out with Big Bill and Brian Keith. By the way, the crowd fucking loved Big Bill. I don't understand why. I'm guessing it's because Big Bill shares the same exact name as the Clock over in London. But they loved Big Bill. They love Big Bill. So, one thing I will say, and I'm glad that they didn't insult our intelligence here, they didn't act like Big Bill and Brian Keith could do nothing. Brian Keith and Big Bill were not on the outside doing nothing. As soon as the bell rang, it was a 3-on-1 beatdown. That is how a no DQ match works. That's how it works. I fucking hate it when there's a no DQ match and you have wrestlers at ringside and they don't do shit. They're just sneaking around. They're being very, very cautious. They're being very sly and very sleazy. Fucking attack the opponent. It's no DQ. So I'm glad that they didn't insult our intelligence there. Now, this could have been a disaster as well. This could have been a complete disaster. This could have been the bathroom break. But in the end, this match ended up being fairly tolerable. I understand that this learning tree shit, it needs to end. I understand that Jericho needs a vacation. Jericho needs a break. He does. But this match was quick. It was simple. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was an easy 11-minute match, and they did not take their foot off the gas. There were no lull periods in this match. The match was straight action. Straight action. So it was a 3-on-1 beatdown right out of the gate. Crowd loved Big Bill. Jericho with a code breaker, Hook kicked out at 1. We had a German suplex by Hook and a Northern Lights suplex. Jericho hit Hook with a back elbow, and then he delivered a lion salt. That got a 2. We had kendo sticks. We had pool cues. Then Jericho brought out a bag full of cricket balls. And then he got a cricket bat that said, "Hi, guys," on it. I actually chuckled at that. So we had a T-bone suplex with the cricket bat right in between Jericho's legs. So Hook, he crotched Jericho's nuts with the cricket bat and delivered a T-bone suplex. T-bone suplex with a cricket bat. That must have been a first. Brian Keith came in and hit Hook with a trash can lid. We had a Walls of Jericho by Jericho, but Hook reversed it. Walls of Jericho by Hook. Big Bill saved it. Crowd loved Big Bill even more. We had a table with a barbed wire board set up. Jericho got a trash can and he hit Hook in the head with it. We had a capture suplex by Hook. Hook took off his eye patch and he could see. He pulled a Jon Moxley from 2020. We had the barbed wire pad set up on the table, and Big Bill was knocked off of the apron, and Big Bill fell through the barbed wire board and the table. Jericho was then locked in the Red Room. Brian Keith was about to get involved before Taz jumped off of commentary and locked in the Red Room. He locked in the Red Room on Brian Keith to a massive pop, and father and son hitting the dual Taz missions. That right there was a great moment, probably the first major Wembley moment, the first major all-in moment that AEW has done. Great shit. And Hook taps out Jericho and wins the FTW Championship for a third time. Listen, I'm not going to go back and rewatch it. I'm pretty sure no one's going to go back and rewatch it. But Taz and Hook hitting the double Taz missions, that made for a great moment. That made for a tolerable match. And it made for a very nice ending to a feud that went on way longer than it should have. This shit should have ended back at Dynasty back in April. Shit should have ended in Dynasty. But it ended. It's done. It's over with. Now that it's done, Hook and Taz, they're going to need to retire the FTW Championship. It's time to retire the FTW Championship, and it's also time for Jericho to take a bit of a hiatus. The Learning Tree shit, funny at times, but it's an overall failure. The Learning Tree is an overall failure. No matter what you want to tell me, it is an overall failure. Brian Keith is funny here and there. Big Bill is funny here and there, but it's an overall flop. I'm sorry. Jericho did not do well with this gimmick. And I think it's time that he takes a hiatus, at least 2 to 3 months. Take 2 to 3 months off and let that be the end of it. Let that be the end of it. Come back with Judas. Come back with a new heel gimmick. Come back with a gimmick that isn't cringe like the Learning Tree. And then we move on. That's where we need to go. But Hook and Taz sharing that moment, that's probably going to go down as a great moment for the both of them. A match that could have been a complete and utter disaster, similar to the Ladders match, ended up being semi-tolerable, and it ended with the right man winning and a great moment with Taz and his son delivering double Taz missions on Jericho and Brian Keith. Before we talk about the next match, I would like to shout out 2 more sponsors. First things first, if you guys are into Peruvian food, we got a great Peruvian deli and restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Here is a word from Mr. Controversy himself about our latest sponsor for Battle in the Borough and our latest sponsor for the brand, DNN Deli. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you got a hankering for Peruvian food, come and visit my friend Will over at DNN Deli. Let me tell you something. They got themselves some fantastic homemade roast beef, homemade empanadas, straight out of Peru as well, so you know it is quality. Once again, that is DNN Deli here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey, and don't forget to catch Battle in the Borough, Saturday, October 19th, 2024. We would like to send out a special thank you to Will and the entire team at DNN Deli. You guys are fantastic. Thank you very much for sponsoring Battle in the Borough. We'd also like to shout out Elmwood Dental Professionals, one of the top-tier premier dental practices in Bergen County. Here's a word from your boy, DJ Shizzle Dizzle, as to why you should go to Elmwood Dental Professionals if you're in the area for all of your dental needs. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and if you guys are looking for some quality dental care, have I got the place for you. For almost 40 years, Elmwood Dental Professionals has been one of the top-tier premier dental practices in Bergen County. Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and their entire team have employed a standard of excellence in personalized dental care, which combines uncompromising safety with extensive training and expertise. This enables them to provide the quality dental services that their patients deserve. As a practice, they are true believers that preventative care and education are the keys to optimal dental health. Their entire team is dedicated to providing you with the personalized dental care that you deserve to make your visits as comfortable and pleasant as possible. Elmwood Dental Professionals, creating beautiful smiles, then, now, and forever. Thank you very much to Dr. David Eidman, Dr. Daniel Eidman, and the entire team over at Elmwood Dental Professionals for being an official sponsor for Battle in the Borough. You are not going to want to miss a moment of what goes down on October 19th. Let's get back to All In, shall we? FTR and the Acclaimed and the Young Bucks triple threat match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. This was a good match. Nothing over the top, nothing too crazy. It was a typical triple threat tag team match. It did what it needed to do, but it didn't have enough heat. The build was very, very rough. The build was rough. The build was very rocky, very wonky, and it definitely showed. It definitely showed, and clear as day, it played into an effect as to what happened in the final match here. Not to say that it was a bad match. It was a solid 14-minute match. But when you look back on it, it probably is going to be one of the more forgettable AEW matches of the year because of how everything surrounding this match just didn't hit. It just didn't click. Now, FTR and the Acclaimed, they actually had a better match in the Esports Stadium, more so than these three teams had here. All these three teams are great. Young Bucks are great. FTR is great. The Acclaimed are great. But the problem is the tag team division has been incredibly, and I mean incredibly, lackluster this year. I don't know what happened. I swear to God, after Dynasty, I've mentioned this time and time again, after AEW Dynasty, everything about the tag team division just fell apart. Everything about it just completely went downhill. And it's downright sad. It really is. Everything about it went downhill. Nothing has clicked. The Young Bucks haven't even defended the tag team championships. It took the Young Bucks, how many months? 4 months in order to finally defend the tag team championships? The Young Bucks, I swear to God, the Young Bucks had perhaps the best tag team title reign that AEW has ever seen back in 2021, and then now they're in the midst of the worst tag team title reign that AEW has ever seen. It is unbelievable. It is unbelievable. I don't know what's going on, but they need to get the tag team division back on track. And the Acclaimed, let me tell you something, the Acclaimed are great, and they tried. They tried with the Acclaimed. They tried to rebuild them up and repackage them, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. No one believed that the Young Bucks were going to lose here. Why? Because this is only their second title defense in 4 months. If anything, they're probably going to lose it at All Out. And if anything, I'd probably be a betting man that they may lose it at All Out, or maybe they could lose it at Grand Slam based on what happened in the end. And if they end up losing it at Grand Slam, let me tell you something. I would not be opposed to GYV getting the victory. I would not be opposed whatsoever with GYV being the ones to take the championships off the Young Bucks. The Acclaimed, I thought that the Acclaimed were going to do it All Out. I thought that they were going to try and recreate what happened with the Acclaimed and Swerve in Our Glory back at All Out. Apparently that's not the case. Either way, not a bad match. Not a bad match. It was solid for what it was, but ultimately forgettable. So, no wasted motion here. The Acclaimed were in control. The Bucks took over and they wore down Cash Wheeler. Bowens lit up the Bucks. Famouser on Matthew. Super kick on Nicholas. Double Scissor Me Timbers. Dax with a German suplex barrage on multiple people. We had double German suplexes on the Bucks for a 2. Double superplex on Matthew, Everyone was in the ring. DDT by Dax, Hurricane Rana on Cash, PK on Caster, moonsault onto the Acclaimed. We had a Shatter Machine, but Nicholas pulled the referee. He pulled Rick Knox out of the ring. We had a super kick on Daddy Ass, Tornado DDT on Bowens. We had an EVP trigger by Caster and Matthew. So they were doing some callbacks to what we saw back at NXT TakeOver Orlando. If you guys remember, at NXT TakeOver Orlando, it was the Revival, back when FTR was the Revival. It was the Revival, DIY, and the Authors of Pain. And I remember DIY and the Revival were doing each other's tag team moves on the Authors of Pain. So I got callbacks to NXT TakeOver Orlando back then. So we had an EVP trigger by Caster and Matthew, a Shatter Machine by Caster and Cash Wheeler, double low blows on the Acclaimed, super kicks on Bowens for a 2. The Bucks got the titles, and we had a Famouser by Daddy Ass, the Arrival, and the mic drop. I thought the Acclaimed were going to win there, but Nicholas saved it. Bowens then got sent into the Bucks. Tope Suicida by Cash onto Bowens and Nicholas. We had a shot with the belt. Dax kicked out. EVP trigger connects. 1, 2, 3. And the Young Bucks retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. Not a bad match. Solid for what it was, but this felt more like a Dynamite match than an All In match. And a lot of that had to do with there being a bad build-up. Now, granted, the build-up didn't ruin it completely. But it was a foregone conclusion that the Young Bucks were going to retain. They didn't build up the Acclaimed enough, and the tag team division has been in shambles for quite a while now, at least since April. The tag team division has been virtually non-existent. Now, afterwards, James Drake and Zach Gibson, the grizzled young veterans, came out, and I popped big for the GYV. The Bucks stared down GYV, and the Bucks walked away. They attacked FTR. Now that was pretty damn cool. And I am very, very happy that we ended up seeing an appearance by GYV. That was awesome. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen going forward. The only thing that I can imagine is that probably we're going to see FTR versus GYV at All Out. And maybe, I don't know for sure, but maybe that is going to be a number one contenders match. That will be a number one contenders match, and that will ultimately result in GYV winning, and maybe we see GYV versus the Young Bucks at AEW Grand Slam. And maybe GYV end up winning the championships at Grand Slam. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly wouldn't mind that. And I'm sure a lot of people would be down to see GYV versus the Young Bucks and GYV win the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The Casino Gauntlet match. We had a lot, and I mean a lot, to look forward to in this Casino Gauntlet match, and I was extremely happy that AEW decided to make the Casino Gauntlet match something of substance. Matter of fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say, and I don't care who gets pissed off at this. I really don't give a shit who gets pissed off at this. You get pissed off at this, guess what? It's your fucking problem. You get pissed off, your fucking problem. The Casino Gauntlet match was better than the last 3 Royal Rumbles combined. Sue me. Don't give a fuck. Sue me. It was better than 2022. It was better than 2023. And it was better than this year as well. The last 3 Royal Rumbles were a complete and utter shit show. A complete and utter shit show. And I am very, very happy to see that AEW is giving us something of substance. AEW is giving us some fun stuff to look forward to. Now, Cassidy, he came out as number 1. Orange Cassidy came out as number 1. Orange Cassidy came out as number 1. Orange Cassidy, he started the Casino Gauntlet match, and one thing that was great about this, and this was actually pretty funny. This was actually pretty funny. Orange Cassidy had that singular pyro, right? Orange Cassidy had that singular pyro, and Orange Cassidy had that pyro that went all the way up to the top of AEW All In at Wembley Stadium. And that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. So after that, we had Okada as number 2. Now, I was happy that they got Okada on the show. Okada's great. Okada's awesome. Very, very happy that Okada was not left off the show. So Okada and Orange Cassidy started off the match, and we had ourselves Nigel McGuinness, literally out of nowhere. Nigel McGuinness being number 3. Crowd popped big. A huge, huge, huge shock. Nigel McGuinness is number 3. Nigel actually looked pretty damn good. I gotta say. So out comes Kyle O'Reilly at number 4. Number 5 was Zack Sabre Jr. And Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr. got it. And I know that that's going to be a technical wrestling fan's dream right there. Nigel and Zack Sabre Jr. Number 6 was Roderick Strong. Number 7, Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe had a decent showcase here. Number 8 was Hangman Adam Page. And this is the guy that realistically should have won the match, but he didn't. Number 9 was Jeff Jarrett. 9 was Jeff Jarrett. Number 10, Ricochet. Great, great pop from Ricochet. Ricochet is finally in a company that is going to allow him to do what he does best. Number 11, Christian Cage. 11 was Christian Cage. Number 12 was none other than Luchasaurus. Now, all these surprises coming out at once. Crowd popped big. We had a lot of great moments. Nigel was a great surprise. Ricochet was a great surprise. Everything just felt a lot more unpredictable. And it felt genuinely intriguing. As the match went on, we didn't know who was going to win. As the match went on, it felt a lot more unpredictable. And it felt a lot more exciting than the last 3 Royal Rumbles. Now, the ending, I don't know why the fuck they went with this ending. I really don't know why the fuck they went with this ending. But Luchasaurus, he was teasing a chokeslam on Christian. He ended up chokeslamming Kyle O'Reilly. He put Christian on top of O'Reilly, and Christian Cage ended up winning the match. Now he has an AEW World Championship match whenever he wants. He has a match whenever he wants. Now, first of all, the match was awesome. The match was awesome. The AEW Casino Gauntlet match, they got themselves something special with this match. So much so, I don't give a fuck who gets mad. The last 3 Royal Rumbles combined did not measure up to this year's Casino Gauntlet match at All In. The Casino Gauntlet match had surprises. The Casino Gauntlet match had unpredictability. The Casino Gauntlet match had multiple individuals that easily could have won. You could have given it to Ricochet. You could have given it to Nigel. You could have given it to Christian. You could have given it to Hangman Page. This is exactly the type of match that AEW needs. And it should absolutely be a yearly thing at All In every single year. And you can go cry me a fucking river like Jack Perry says. The Casino Gauntlet match was better than the 2022, 2023, and 2024 Royal Rumbles combined. Go cry about it in a corner. Now, I'm very, very happy that Tony Khan has something here. But the fact that Christian won, Christian was the safe route. Christian was kind of the safe route. He was the predictable route here. Now, if Christian and Luchasaurus are ultimately going to end up splitting, if we are ultimately going to see Christian and Luchasaurus split off, and this is going to be a means of making Luchasaurus into that mega babyface that we all know he can be, then you know what? I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I have no issue with that. But how exactly do you have the Casino Gauntlet match, Swerve is world champion, and you don't go with Hangman Adam Page winning the championship? How exactly do you not go with Hangman Adam Page winning the championship title opportunity, and you completely pass on inserting the world title into the Swerve and Hangman program? And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to the main event. Because even though the main event was fantastic, even though the main event was fantastic from start to finish, it was a great moment. It was a great match for Swerve, a great match for Bryan. It was one of the best main events of the year, one of the best matches that Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland could have put on. It was still one of the biggest missed opportunities that AEW has ever done. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the Casino Gauntlet match overall, awesome match. Awesome match. I don't necessarily hate that Christian won. I'm not mad that Christian won. I'm mad that Hangman lost. Because Hangman was the best possible winner. He made the most sense. Now, Christian as world champion, that's definitely something that I can get behind. I will tell you that. Christian as world champion is absolutely something that I can get behind. Christian as world champion would absolutely, and I mean absolutely, be a huge, huge positive for AEW TV. That much I will say. Moving on here, Will Ospreay and Maxwell Jacob Friedman, the American Hero, versus the Redcoat Terrorists. Gotta love MJF. This was for the AEW American Championship. Will Ospreay had a beautiful entrance. He had an Assassin's Creed style entrance. Now, I have never once played Assassin's Creed. I've never once played Assassin's Creed. I really don't know what it's all about. I'm not an Assassin's Creed mark. The only affiliation that I've ever had with Assassin's Creed was when I saw that Assassin's Creed movie. And apparently it did very, very poorly in the box office, and the sequels were canceled. Now, I will tell you this. I actually enjoyed that Assassin's Creed movie. I've never played the video game. But I enjoyed the Assassin's Creed movie. Never played the video game, but the Assassin's Creed entrance from Will Ospreay, fucking beautiful. Beautiful shit. And Will Ospreay, I'm telling you, Will Ospreay, he came into All Elite Wrestling. He has been given the fucking royal treatment. And you know what? He deserves every last bit of it. Will Ospreay is absolutely fucking amazing. So, Will Ospreay took the fight to MJF early. Cartwheel, backflip, plancha. MJF, he powerbombed Will on his knee. MJF with the kangaroo kick. He was just reveling in the heat. Crowd was booing the shit out of him. MJF caught Will Ospreay mid-dive and delivered a tombstone on the floor. He came back with a Spanish fly. MJF was dropped on the rope in a draping position, and Will Ospreay delivered a shooting star press. Beautifully done. MJF with a crossroads. Ospreay kicked out. Oz Cutter. MJF kicked out. Top rope Oz Cutter. MJF got his foot on the rope. Pile driver for a 2. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." We had a rolling elbow by MJF. Stormbreaker by Ospreay. 1, 2. MJF kicked out. Ospreay missed the Oz Cutter. MJF with a Long Island Sunrise on the ring apron. Ospreay sold the shit out of it. Ospreay with an Oz Cutter on the apron. Crowd was chanting, "This is awesome." Hidden blade, but MJF ducked and Ospreay accidentally hit the cameraman. MJF had the belt. MJF hit Ospreay with the belt behind the referee's back. 1, 2. Ospreay kicked out. MJF with a brainbuster. 1, 2. Max only got a 2. So Max was just distraught at this rate. Hidden blade, but MJF was knocked into the ref. MJF caught Will Ospreay with a low blow. MJF smiled at the camera, just smiling like he's about to pull off the heist of the century. MJF smiling as if he's going to fucking Wendy's and they didn't charge him for the extra fries. MJF, he pulls out plastic knuckles. So instead of the brass knuckles, he pulls out plastic knuckles. All of a sudden, some guy in a hooded ski mask comes out and he knocks MJF down. He is unmasked, and the man is Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia returns, punches MJF. Will Ospreay with a hidden blade on the money. Will Ospreay hooked the arms and delivered the Tiger Driver 91 after all these months of retiring the move, after what happened with Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. Tiger Driver 91, 1, 2, 3, and your new American champion, now international champion, is Will Ospreay. Another classic, another Will Ospreay classic. If you guys want to see two of the brightest young stars in the industry today, forget about the future. MJF and Will Ospreay are the now. MJF and Will Ospreay are the now, and they should be treated as such. Fantastic shit. Excellent match from start to finish. And had it not been for the main event, this would have been the match of the night. Had it not been for the main event. Now, the one issue that I took with this, and the one issue that I don't see a lot of people talking about, the one issue was that they flip-flopped the title. That's the only issue. Other than that, I mean, everything was perfect. Everything about it was beautiful. Now, they could have done the exact same thing without having MJF win the title for 40 days only to lose it right back to Ospreay. I'm always going to stand firm on the fence when I say there should be no such thing as a short title reign. No such thing as a transitional champion. Championship reigns should not be any less than 100 to 150 days. That should be the bare minimum. The bare minimum between 100 and 150 days. We need substance. We need quality. We need longevity. That's how you make the championships feel important. That's how you make the individuals holding the championships feel important. And that's how you make the shows feel more important. Because people are going to be questioning, all right, this guy is 150 days, 160 days, 170 days. Who's going to beat him for the championship? Blah, 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 blah. So if they would have done the exact same thing, but if they would have done the time limit draw, if they would have did a time limit draw back on Dynamite 250, then I would have been a little bit more accepting of it. But the problem has always been flip-flopping of the titles. Shit, that shit is just so WWE-esque. But I swear to God, it's like WWE is actually getting better with that. Back then, AEW, they were the company that did the long title reigns. That is one of the things that made AEW between 2019 and 2022 special. Now it's WWE that are doing the lengthy title range, which I'm very happy about. Don't get me wrong, very, very happy about it. But still, I got to call it out when I see it. The short title reigns should not be a thing. Now, everything that happened here with Daniel Garcia coming back, now him and MJF, they got themselves a program. You take a look at what's going down at All Out. All Out, we already got Willow and Chris Statlander for the CMLL Women's World Championship, and we're probably going to get some sort of a street fight there. We got Will Ospreay and Pac for the International Championship, potentially a Claudio and Okada rematch for the Continental Championship, potentially the Grizzled Young Veterans versus FTR, and now potentially Daniel Garcia versus MJF. All Out's looking like one hell of a fucking show. Chicago's going to be in for a treat. By the way, I believe they just surpassed 6,000 tickets. I believe that they could sell that out. A little bit more promotion, they'll sell that out. But fantastic match. Fantastic match. Ospreay wins as expected. He was not losing in Wembley. Ospreay is the new international champion. Now we should have a lengthy reign with Ospreay. Ospreay should not be losing that championship until at least February. Ospreay should take that championship into Grand Slam in February in Australia. He should absolutely take that championship in Australia. Oh, and by the way, I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but it is going to be very, and I mean very, very, very hard. I don't know if they're going to experiment with this in the future. I don't think that they should, but it's going to be very, very hard if AEW wants to turn Ospreay heel at some point, because he does have the makings of a good heel. He can be a good heel. We've seen it before. He was a brilliant heel in that match with Omega at Forbidden Door. But if Ospreay is going to be a heel, I'm telling you, it's going to be very, very hard to portray him as a heel. He is just way too fucking popular at this rate. He is their version of Cody Rhodes. Will Ospreay is their version of Cody. Hope you guys are having a good time so far. Let us take a break, our final break, and we are going to shout out our final two sponsorships of the show. First off, I'd like to shout out Vito's Pizza and Restaurant for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and being an official sponsor of the DJ Storms brand. Here is a word from your boy regarding Vito's Pizza and Restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I am here in front of Vito's Pizza and Restaurant here in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Some of the best pizza in Bergen County. If you're hungry, hell, even if you're not, come and stop by Vito's Pizza. And of course, be sure to catch Battle in the Borough on Saturday, October 19th, 2024. Tickets, $25 at the door. DM me or call 201-507-2577. Thank you very much to Vito's Pizza and Restaurant for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. And finally, one of the first sponsorships that decided to come on board, we would like to shout out Toasted Bagels, Deli, and Cafe in Elmwood Park, New Jersey on Mola Boulevard. Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team over at Toasted for sponsoring Battle in the Borough. Here's a word from your boy and Safa regarding Toasted. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I am here with the owner of Toasted. Her name is Safa and also her team.
Hi, guys.
Safa, how are you today?
I'm good.
Let me ask you, how long have you been living in Elmwood Park right now?
I was born and raised in Elmwood Park, so basically 20 years.
That's amazing. And tell us a little bit about Toasted.
So we are a woman-owned business. We're also Middle Eastern-owned. We come from a Middle Eastern background. We also have our smoke shop right next door, Moonstar Smoke Shop. We just saw this opportunity and we wanted to fill the gap. So we have a lot of experience in the food industry, and we thought it would be an amazing opportunity to open something for the whole family. So we're very excited to bring this to the Elmwood Park community, and thank you guys so much for all your support.
And the Elmwood Park community thanks you, ladies and gentlemen, Safa and the team of Toasted. I'm the one and only DJ Storms. Be sure to get your tickets right now for Battle in the Borough on October 19th, 2024. Thank you very much to Safa and the entire team over at Toasted for being an official sponsor of Battle in the Borough and the DJ Storms brand. If you guys are looking for some quality breakfast foods, deli, and coffee, go check out Toasted in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Let's get down to the final three matches. The final three matches of AEW All In. Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker for the TBS Championship. Moné had a big entrance with her dog in a golden chariot. Very nicely done. Baker and Moné. Let me tell you something. I was looking forward to this match. Did it deliver? Was it a good match? Yes, it was good. Was it great? No. No, it was not great. For a multitude of reasons. Number one, after Blood and Guts, the build just fell apart. Because Britt went and got herself suspended like a fucking idiot. So Britt's suspension definitely played into the build-up to the match being rather lackluster. After that match with Shida and Baker, and when Camille came in, after that, everything just fell apart. Everything fell apart, and it was, quite frankly, frustrating, if you ask me. Very frustrating. That's number one. Number two, there is no way. I don't give a fuck how good Britt Baker is. Britt Baker's very good. Mercedes is one of the best female wrestlers of this generation. She will go down as one of the greatest of all time. But not even these two women. It doesn't matter how good these two women are. No one, and I mean no one, was following MJF and Will Ospreay. This was absolutely the wrong spot for these two women. These two women should have started the show. You could have made history. You could have made history having these two women be the first two women to kick off an AEW pay-per-view, right? These two women, the first match that you see for AEW All In, the second All In under the AEW banner in Wembley, these two women were the first thing that you see. You could have done the exact same match, and then you could have had Jamie Hayter make her return. She saves Britt Baker, and then we get Camille and Mercedes versus Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker at All Out. That's how shit should have played out. But now that Mercedes Moné beat Britt Baker straight up, it's almost as if there's no reason to continue the program. There's no bridge for the program. There's no reason to have Britt tethered to Moné anymore. Unless they're still going to go forth with the tag team match. I don't know if they will, but it's possible that they could. And then maybe we get Hayter versus Moné at Wrestle Dream. We get Hayter versus Moné at Wrestle Dream, and then maybe Britt Baker turns heel on Jamie Hayter, and we finally get that Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter program that we have been waiting for quite some time now. I don't know. But this spot, wrong spot for Moné and Baker. Was it a bad match? No, it was a good match. Not great. It could have been better. It should have been better. And it would have been better if it was in the right spot at the beginning of the show. And it also would have been better if Britt didn't get herself suspended and we actually had more build with more substance leading up into this match. But the last 6 minutes, they absolutely did what they needed to do. It was a decent back and forth between the two. So Mercedes, she was in control here. Mercedes was actually doing a lot of the offense here. Mercedes kept the pressure on Britt, sidewalk slam into a backbreaker. We then had Moné delivering a body slam to Britt Baker from the middle rope. You don't normally see that, so I'm glad that they were kind of mixing it up there. Baker tried to mount a comeback with a rolling elbow, a running neck breaker, and a sling blade. Britt Baker hit the Angel's wings. So again, I appreciate the fact that they're using new moves. Britt Baker implementing the Angel's wings. She went for the lockjaw, but Monet avoided it. Monet was caught with an air raid crash for a 2. Backstabber by Monet. Crowd with the dueling chants of CEO and DMD. We had a super kick by Britt. Monet and Britt went up. Britt reversed the body slam into an avalanche cradle for a 2 count. That was a nice counter by Britt. Camille got Monet's foot underneath the rope, and Britt Baker hit a super kick on Camille, and then she pulled an Eddie Guerrero. So Britt Baker tossed the championship at Camille. Britt fell back. The ref saw it. The ref ejected Camille from ringside. Monet was caught with a Pittsburgh Sunrise and then the curb stomp. 1, 2, Monet kicked out. That was probably the best near fall of the match. Baker with a lockjaw. Monet bit her finger. I mean, holy shit, Monet is the smartest woman who has ever wrestled Britt Baker. Anyone who has themselves in a position to be locked in the lockjaw, if you are in a position where you're going to get locked in the lockjaw, if you can't close your mouth, bite the finger. I'm surprised it took this many women to finally figure out the trick. That's the one thing I hate about the lockjaw. Just fucking bite on her hand. So Mercedes Moné, she bit Britt's finger. Backslide, reversed. Moneymaker connects. 1, 2, 3. And Mercedes Moné retains the TBS Championship clean at 17.5 minutes. Good match. Good match. Very tough spot. No one was going to follow MJF and Ospreay. This should have started the show, and this should have resulted in Jamie Hayter coming out to save Britt from a further attack on herself by Monet and Camille. And the fact that we didn't see Jamie Hayter here was a huge missed opportunity. Very, very, very much a missed opportunity there. I don't understand why we didn't get it. If anything, it would have made the show that much better. It would have made the show that much better. Coffin match. Jack Perry and Darby Allin. Coffin match for the TNT Championship. This was probably the shortest match on the main show. I don't know why they cut the time, but you could argue that this was a disappointing one. This was a disappointing one. Not because Jack Perry's bad at what he does, not because Darby's bad at what he does, not because a coffin match is a boring match, but there's only so much you can do in 10 minutes. No one's going to remember a 10-minute coffin match when you had a great Casino Gauntlet match, a classic between MJF and Ospreay, a great match with Mariah and Tony, where Mariah was crowned into a star, and then a fantastic main event, a very emotional main event with Bryan Danielson winning the World Championship. You're not going to remember what Jack Perry and Darby Allin did. So, let's go over what happened. So Darby, right out of the gate, Darby flew through the ropes like a fucking missile with a tope suicida. Darby with a chair. He put Perry in the chair and delivered a drop kick to Jack Perry on the chair. Another tope suicida, but Jack Perry moved and Darby Allin crashed right into the coffin. The crowd, they were chanting, "Oh, cry me a river." Loved it. I love that about it. Jack Perry, with a throwback to last year's All In, he had a bag. We thought it was going to be a bag of thumbtacks. It was not thumbtacks. It was not Legos. It was not cricket balls. It was not hockey pucks. It was not dice. He had a bag of real glass. This motherfucker brought a bag of real glass. That was actually better. That moment right there where he brought out the real glass, that was better than the actual match. He brought out a bag of real fucking glass. The crowd was chanting, "Fuck CM Punk." Gotta love it. So Perry, unfortunately, Perry got dropped in the glass. So I guess, you live by the glass, you die by the glass. So Perry then taped Darby's hands together. Darby with a coffin drop with his hands still tied behind his back. So Darby's trying everything to fight. We had a power bomb on the stage by Jack Perry, which looked pretty damn brutal. This was actually very one-sided, I'm not going to lie. Very one-sided match here. Jack Perry, he tied Darby Allin's legs together. He tied his legs together with Darby Allin's own belt. And then he shoved Darby off the stage, and Darby went crashing and burning through 2 tables, which looked great, by the way. That was a great spot. And that was the last thing that you saw before Jack Perry, he took the body bag, he put Darby in the body bag, and he dragged Darby Allin from the stage to the coffin, delivered a Busaiku knee to Darby, and closed the coffin, and Darby Allin loses his first ever coffin match. Darby Allin loses, and the TNT Championship stays with Jack Perry. Now, the match itself was disappointing. From a quality standpoint, it was disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And it's clear as day that time was cut here. Now, that's an overbearing negative. If anything, was probably the biggest negative on the show, minus Hangman not winning the Casino Gauntlet match. But on the flip side, one has to think that Jack Perry kind of needed this. Jack Perry has not been booked like a threat as TNT champion. Jack Perry was actually the whole reason why the Elite lost Blood and Guts. Jack Perry was literally crucified on the cage and threatened with his life. He was threatened by Darby, and they were going to light him on fire, legitimately light him on fire, if Darby Allin didn't get a TNT Championship match against Jack Perry at All In. So, by that logic, Jack Perry needed a win, he needed a clean win, and he needed a convincingly clean win. And I guess you could say that it was accomplished. Because the Elite, they didn't need to get involved. They didn't get involved until after the match was over, which I appreciate. But Jack Perry, he loses. He loses at Blood and Guts. He looks weak. He needed something here. Because if Jack Perry didn't win here, then them giving Jack Perry the TNT Championship would have ultimately been a complete waste of time. So he was the right winner. Perry was the right winner. He needed a clean, convincing win, and he got it. But based on what happened afterwards, it almost seemed like it was just a means of it was just a means of getting Sting on the show. It was just a means of having a cool moment with Sting and Darby, and that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with Darby. Could he win the World Championship? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait. But either way, very quick match. Perry wins convincingly, which is a good thing, but the whole shit with Sting coming out and then delivering double Scorpion death drops to Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. I mean, we've seen it before. It's been overdone. We didn't need Sting to come out. As much as I love Sting, as much as I always appreciate seeing Sting, we didn't need it. We didn't need it. He didn't need to come out. If anything, you could have used those extra 5 minutes to give Jack Perry and Darby Allin a little bit more time to tell more of a story and give us a couple more cool spots. The main event. Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson. The final countdown. Title versus career. AEW World Championship. So Bryan came out to the final countdown. Absolutely tremendous ovation. Tremendous shit. Awesome ovation there. We had Swerve Strickland getting a Black Panther style entrance, very similar to his entrance back at AEW Dynasty. That was cool. Crowd was loud. The crowd was loud. They were rowdy. Bryan, right out of the gate, he got crazy. Bryan with a springboard cannonball onto Swerve. Big suplex by Swerve in the ring. Swerve was wearing down Bryan Danielson's arm. Bryan then with an armbar in the ropes. Both men were on the apron. We had a Death Valley driver on the ring apron, and Nana slid the ring bell underneath Swerve and Bryan at the last minute, and Bryan got dropped headfirst on the ring bell, which was absolutely awesome. Awesome shit. Bryan was busted open. Swerve was in firm control. Stomps right to the head, and he was stomping Bryan Danielson right in front of his family, and I had a smile on my face from ear to ear. My black heart was being fed very, very well. Absolutely loved it. So back in the ring, Swerve with an Olympic slam from the top rope. Bryan with a regal stretch. Bryan mounted a comeback, couple running drop kicks in the corner. Swerve countered with a flatliner. Bryan with a tiger suplex. Big kicks to the chest. Tiger suplex from the top rope. 1, 2, Swerve kicked out. Bryan began to kick Swerve's head in. He locked in the cattle mutilation, but Swerve got out and delivered the vertebraker to Bryan Danielson. Swerve then shunned the doctors away. He was selling the neck. Swerve went up. Swerve stomp connects. 1, 2. Bryan kicked out of the Swerve stomp. Crowd was chanting, yes, yes, yes. We had a house call, a second one, a third one. Swerve covered. 1, 2. Bryan just barely rolled the shoulder up. The crowd absolutely fucking exploded. And I'm sitting there, and I have my heart going a million miles an hour. The crowd is just making this that much better. Bryan was hyping himself up. Bryan slapped Swerve across the face, kicks over and over again to the chest, regal plex, Busaiku knee. Swerve, he got hit with the Busaiku knee. He bounced off the corner and just shoved it off. That right there, if anything, that right there made Swerve into even more of a beast than he already was. Just fucking shoved it off. So Swerve, then with a house call, he delivered big pressure. I thought this was it. The JML driver, the big pressure. I swear to God, I thought this was it. 1, 2. Bryan kicked out. The crowd exploded again. They exploded with the yes chants. Everyone was going nuts. All of a sudden, Hangman Adam Page comes out through the crowd and attacks Prince Nana. They actually had to have the security guards stop him. The security guards were stopping Swerve, and they escorted him out of the building, did the security. So Page was out of here. Page was gone. Swerve turned around right into the Busaiku knee. 1, 2, Swerve kicked out. I thought that Busaiku knee was it. Crowd chanting, AEW, AEW. We had a huge Busaiku knee again. Another Busaiku knee. LeBell lock locked in. Bryan then transitioned into the Rings of Saturn. And Swerve had no choice but to tap out. Swerve Strickland taps, and Bryan Danielson wins the AEW World Championship in what was a fantastic match. One of the best matches that we will see all year. Easily top 5 of the year so far. Top 5 of the year so far. And absolutely one of the best main events that AEW has ever produced. Seeing Bryan celebrate with his kids, listen, it made the moment that much more special. It made the moment that much more special. Everything that was laid out here, the build was beautiful. The build was beautiful. Swerve wanting to be the man to end Bryan's career, beautiful. Bryan's family being there, Adam Page getting involved, everything worked out beautifully. Now, if there is one guy that deserves it, it's Bryan Danielson for everything that he's done for AEW and how selfless he's been. That much I will say. However, I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't call out the big elephant in the room. This will go down as one of the greatest main events that AEW has ever done, but it will also go down as one of the biggest missed opportunities in company history. Bryan Danielson winning the World Championship, although it was one of the best moments that AEW has ever created, it will absolutely go down as one of the biggest missed opportunities that AEW has ever done. How you have the feud that you've seen with Swerve and Hangman, and you have Swerve as the world champion, and you don't even entertain the idea of doing a Swerve and Hangman match for the world title. Never mind at Wembley. Just, you don't even entertain it, period. Now, some people are saying that the feud doesn't need the world title. Well, neither does Bryan Danielson. Swerve would have become a legend if he beat Bryan, and it would have made the program between Hangman and Swerve that much better when they inevitably fight, whether it be at All Out or Wrestle Dream. Now, the program is going to be looked at as less than because Swerve is no longer champion. A great moment at All In, but a missed opportunity. So what happens now? What happens now? I don't know. I don't know what happens now. I'm not sure where they're going to go. There are multiple different routes that they could go. Christian Cage right now is the winner of the AEW World Championship shot, courtesy of the Casino Gauntlet match. I'd be shocked if Bryan Danielson holds the championship past Wrestle Dream. I would honestly be shocked if Bryan holds the championship past Wrestle Dream. I'm not sure what is going to happen going forward. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know where he's going to go from here. Now, he's got Darby. Bryan's got Darby at Grand Slam. Are they going to fast-track Darby Allin to the World Championship? Maybe. Maybe. It's possible. Do I think that's the best move? Probably not. Probably not. If anything, Christian Cage being the guy to take the championship from Bryan, that right there would be a much better story told. And then you could potentially build up Darby going after Christian, depending on how long Christian holds the championship. If you want to, and you want to do a little throwback from Wrestle Dream 2023, I wouldn't mind seeing Christian Cage versus Darby Allin for the World Heavyweight Championship at All In next year in Texas. Now that would be one hell of a program. That would be one hell of a World Championship match. But I would be personally shocked if Bryan holds that championship past Wrestle Dream. He's already got a match with Darby at Grand Slam. So obviously they're using Bryan. They're probably going to use Bryan to sell some tickets there. Maybe they'll use Bryan to sell some tickets in the Tacoma Dome as well. Either way, listen, great moment, but wrong outcome. I would have had Swerve win. I would have had Swerve win here, and I would have continued the program with Swerve and Hangman would have been the one to beat Swerve. Hangman being the one to beat Swerve in Swerve's hometown of Tacoma, man, that would have been fucking poetic. That would have been like what CM Punk did to Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle in Scotland this year. That would have been something. Nevertheless, All In, based on the main event, based on Ospreay and MJF, based on the Casino Gauntlet match, based on that opener as well, and the women's title match, I'd say that All In 2024 was absolutely better than All In 2023. I may have to go back and watch All In 2023 because that was a damn good show in its own right. That was a damn good show in its own right, and I definitely want to rewatch it and see how everything panned out again. But nevertheless, great show. Easily one of the top 3 best AEW shows all year. I'm still going to stick with Dynasty and Revolution as the 2 best AEW shows this year so far. I probably put Dynasty over Revolution. But either way, AEW has delivered some damn good fucking pay-per-views this year. And I can assure you that we're going to see another one with All Out, because All Out's looking pretty damn good. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all that I got for you. That is all that I got for you. And I will be tweeting live for Raw tonight. I will be seeing you guys live for Raw tonight. I'm going to enjoy the last night of my vacation because I'm going back to work tomorrow. Thankfully, we got the Labor Day weekend coming up and the official end of summer. We're going to end the summer on a high note. We're going to end the summer DJ Storm style. And then next weekend, not this one coming up, next weekend, we're going to start off the fall right with All Out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this weekend. Thank you very much for spending All In weekend with me. I am the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update. But before we get out of here, you already know the drill, people. It's a very, very important question that all must answer, and a very, very important question that y'all must answer. And we're going to see if people have been paying attention here. Ladies and gentlemen, who runs the IWC? Matter of fact, don't even answer that. I will tell you who runs the IWC. It is who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you ever forget it.
Retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution! Oh yeah, we want retribution!